Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Shooting the Breeze here. We are joined today again by Gary McClellan of Carluke Charity FC. We're just going to go over everything that went on in the past and then catch up with Gary and what's going on in the future. So let's welcome back Gary McClellan. Hey man, how you doing?
I'm not too bad, Bill. How you doing?
Yeah man, I'm really good, really good. Just saying in the wee intro there that you've had quite a busy wee time of it recently.
Yeah. It's been
What what's been
a
going on?
it's been a long campaign for our biggest campaign to date. So thankfully, everything's been going pretty good with it. We've had good support for every event we've done. So we're almost at the finishing line for biggest campaign to date. So hopefully it's all went well and it's all good for the charities.
Good man. So the last time we spoke, you had like a lot of things like that you hadn't really done before, like the big wrestling event. How did that end up? How did that go?
Uh, exactly the way I thought it would. It was they literally smashed it right out of the park. Um, Everything you could ask for, like for it being a tight, compact venue and that as well. The crowd right on top of it, like families enjoying themselves. You can see how much the wrestlers enjoy being part of the show, what they were raising for, and I don't think it could have went any better.
Good. I think it's like these wee. I think even if you try something new for the first time and it goes well, you know you've always got that in your back pocket now that you could pull out.
Yeah.
Are you planning a second one, or is that kind of like on the back burner just now?
No, we've had talks. Everything's all confirmed. We've not put the date out yet, but it's all confirmed for 2026 again.
I
So it'll
love
be
it.
happening again.
I love it. Good. Is there anything else that's new in the pipeline that you're trying out, or are you going to stick to what's tried and tested?
I think at the moment we're still kind of sorting out events for going forward and that now, but we're, at the moment we're trying to kind of add in like new things in that towards our finale event, things we've not really done before. We're trying to look into what can we add to this that will bring in more people or sort of something different we've not tried that if you don't try it, you're not going to find out. So we're just trying to like see what we can find local that we can bring in that will bring people in and they can enjoy a day in that as well. So it's just trying to find wee things that also at the same time you don't want to spend too much and you're trying to make money for the charity. So you're trying to find a balance in that as well. But no, but we're looking quite good now.
Good, yeah, because I mean, there's given like I think we mentioned this the last time. Like Carluke isn't really that big a place,
No,
so you don't want to kind of like oversaturate the market, do you?
yeah.
Do you find that? Have you ever found that that's maybe happening, or like is there other events that's happening outside of yours that's similar, and or is everybody kind of pulling together here?
Eh, no, the only really difference for us is usually when we do this big one event, we usually do it at the end of May. But it's worked out the last couple of years we've done that. It's ended up clashing with like your Scottish Cup final, the football and stuff and that. So that kind of maybe essentially takes people away if they're away supporting their teams.
Yeah.
But even in the last couple of years, even when we've done that, we've still had between maybe 200 and 300 people come up on the day to attend the event. So we're just hoping that the fact we've pushed it away from the football and we've moved to the end of June, maybe get similar numbers or maybe even a wee bit extra depending on the weather.
Aye. So like obviously like the date of these things has got like you've just mentioned there, has got to be like proper a precision thing.
It's proper planned out in advance, yeah.
Uh do you ever like run into any issues planning these kind of things with dates or
Eh, Not usually with dates, not really. Obviously, nothing's going to go like smooth. You can maybe have like things booked, and then maybe you'll have like somebody booked as part of your event and they can't make it. They've like they fall ill or something's come up in that, and you're having to try and move things around. But you always seem to find a way around about it.
good? Because there is nothing worse than these like last minute
Yeah,
kind of cancellations or illnesses and stuff. Eh, it's But I'm assuming, like, because you've been doing this for like the length of time that you have, you've always got something in your back pocket. You can always kind of just maybe call up last minute.
It's good that we obviously, with the course of the time we've been doing it, we've built up contacts and that as well. And every campaign you do, more people are coming on board to support and all that. So you're finding, you're bringing them in, and they might know such and such. So you're then spreading it out and that as well, and you're opening it up. That's how it's part of the campaign. There, we done our very first open mic event. So the fact of doing that as well opens us up to bringing in different people we've not heard before that we can then see and promote them and potentially get booked for future events.
Yeah, I mean, I always love open mic nights. I'm not one for taking part, but I'm always one for sitting and like kind of, because you're absolutely spot on with what you says. You can always like kind of pick out people and you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, I like them, I like them, I like them, and you could use them as like individual acts, so to
Yeah,
speak.
definitely.
How did the open mic night go? Was it everything that you had planned, or did you think it exceeded it?
No, it was what we expected. Obviously, it's the first time you've done it. You've never really held one, so it was quite good to see how it went. Thankfully, we were able to bring in people that knew more about the events than us, and they were able to we get like a DJ in to help compare the event. He's done it in the past. He knows what he's doing. He's got the experience. So we're roughly just trying to get the acts in, make sure everybody's here on the night, make sure the times and all that are up the way the timing should be and stuff in that. But on the night, even for it, as I was saying in the last podcast, usually our events are at night time. But for this one, we decided to start it early afternoon, right through to midnight. So the fact we were able to get enough acts to come in and keep everybody in that hall for as long, and the support was outstanding.
Did you notice a difference doing it earlier in the day?
To start off with in the afternoon, you're not overly kind of busy, but as the afternoon goes on, the night goes on, it really picks up. So as something as well, we can always also do it again. I think that would be a big success.
See, that's the thing with events. Is like every day's a school day. You're always learning.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, with having the DJ there at the open mic night, it's always good to have kind of people that you could bounce ideas off of.
Yeah.
Are you keeping in touch with him?
Yeah. Also, we've got the contacts and that for Billy, and it also helps as well that he's local as well, so he sees what we're doing, and he loves getting involved with it as well.
See, again, that's really good. I think it's like we mentioned the last time. It's good to have such a family feel, like a community.
Yeah.
Behind it. Have you ever? Has there ever been any? The problem maybe has been like there is with everything else, but has there ever been any negative things come of it?
I wouldn't really say negative. I think maybe at times in that you're doing events in that you're maybe overthinking stuff.
Aye.
But then you're trying to balance out what you're thinking to make sure that it still goes the way you want it. But I wouldn't say there's anything really negative, because I feel like every event we do, like either on the night or following day on the social media and all that, the feedback you get from people that are there and all that, and how much they've enjoyed it. As I said it the last time, you don't know what people are experiencing. So if they're coming out to our events, enjoying it, it's obviously, it makes a big difference in that as well. And the feedback you get from them, and they're coming back out for future events, and it's the big circle. You're doing this for charities, but you're helping people on the side, and their feedback pushes us more to do more of what we're doing.
It kind of makes all the behind the scenes headaches that wee bit worth it. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, have you got anything coming up in the pipeline?
At the moment, we're about, what's this? About 5 weeks away, maybe 5-6 weeks away from our big finale one.
So what does that involve?
That is what will be on Saturday the 28th of June. If your local for Carluke, gets up at the John Cummins Stadium from 12 to 4. at the moment we've got a charity football game booked in. It'll be ourselves, and local people from Carluke against one of our chosen charities, the Mark Somerville Foundation. They've got their team together. That's the motor neuron disease charity.
Okay.
So they've got like a team of obviously family, friends, and followers and that as well. So they're going to come along and we'll do the charity football game. We've got market stall traders and that as well. I think at the moment we're sitting about 12, 13 market stall traders at the moment.
That's right.
Wide variety, all different stuff in that as well. So our deadline for that is not closing until the end of the month as well. So we've still got time for even more people to get involved.
I love it. I love it. When you're booked, like I ran my first market just the other month there, and it was a headache trying to make sure that nothing was too much of the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, as much as we all love wax melts and candles, do you know what I mean? You don't want.
There's a limit.
How are you finding that?
At the moment, it's not too bad, but when people are send a message over with their interest in the event, we're obviously like, explaining, they'll let us know what they're wanting for the stall, what they're selling at, and obviously they'll ask roughly, is there anybody similar to what we're doing? The best way to do is be honest with them. If there's somebody there, someone will say, yeah, we'll still do it. Then other ones, obviously, they might not want to do it and that, but I think the best way to be is honest with them. And that way, if they're dedicated, they'll come in and...
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's like, it's just transparency.
Yeah.
You know, that's I think that's a big thing when you're dealing with, like, not just necessarily a charity, but a business anyway. I think it's all about the communication and transparency.
Yeah.
So
I think you need to think about that as well. Like, if it's all right us having our stall through here, but you've people that we're travelling through out with, so they're having to like contribute petrol and that to it as well. And you're trying to think the bigger picture if it's worth the people travelling through if we're going to be similar stalls. So you're trying to make it as fair as you can.
Aye, and it's not always easy. You're always going to maybe alienate some people, but
yeah,
you can't win them all.
No doubt you can do it.
No, I know, man. So you mentioned about the charity football game that you've got coming up.
Yes.
What position are you?
That depends on the day. It will depend. At the moment, with the amount of bodies we've got, it's going to be a case of rolling subs anyway. It's not a bad thing. It shows the amount of people that are getting involved in that as well to support.
Do you know, it's a good problem to have,
Yeah.
Aye, it's one of these things that's like when you're doing events, is you don't you can have an event in mind, but you always think, is it going to be pulled off? But then the amount of support that you get, it's heartwarming, I would say.
I don't know even if you notice, like on the charity page, we've got 2 wrestling VIPs playing in the charity game this year.
I know.
Have you came across it? No.
I don't know. Oh, let me have a wee nosy here. Does it mention who they are?
Yep, it was maybe posted about a month ago.
Oh, do you know? I think I actually did see that. Is it Looking Sharp?
That's one of them. Yeah.
Who's the other one? Oh man. Who's the other one? Who's the other one? If I can find it. Oh man, Renfrew.
That'll be very interesting.
That'll be. I mean, to be fair, get like those guys, like in the wrestling, but in the wrestling world, the Scottish wrestling scene are two of the, I would say, the most humble people that I've ever met.
Yep.
Me and Chrissy go like way back to 2012, when he was just a wee young boy, basically, and see the man that he's become and what he's done.
Hashtag your most favourite wrestler.
By the way, he's done so well. He's done so well to like constantly reinvent himself, and as he's gotten older, he's gotten a lot more mature. And then there's Chris Renfrew, which say no more on that.
It's good as well because it just shows that obviously we started off just with a wrestling show for a charity. It just shows how much bigger you can make it. How when you work together, obviously they're doing wrestling shows and they're getting involved with other events that we're doing. They want to come and do their bit in it as well, and
Aye.
it's
Yeah.
the bigger picture in that as well. It's a partnership in that.
Absolutely, and I mean, again, it's a testament to what you guys are doing. The fact that they're actually like wanting to work with you,
Yeah,
rather than you booking the wrestling. The wrestlers want to come to you.
that's it.
Like, how did that conversation go between them two?
I think it was actually at the wrestling event. We were obviously talking after it, or was it before it? It was on the day, I'm sure. And obviously, Chris Ford, he's really into what we're doing. So he's asking about upcoming event stuff and that, and we mentioned about the big finale because the plan was we were going to try and do another like show on it, but then we'd have to try and do it kind of outdoor, and it's a bit. I don't know about doing a outdoor show with the weather. You're relying on the weather and all that as well. So
Aye.
the other best thing was obviously to get involved with the charity football game.
Is it like when you say it's outdoor? Is it like a pitch or is it like the AstroTurf?
It's like a big sports stadium. It's got like a stand and all that as well, and a big running track around it. So
Nice. Because I've played football on like AstroTurf, man, and the grazing that you can get
yes,
from that is brutal. It's a
yes,
different level.
that was the older days, wasn't it? It's
But I suppose it's all health and safety these days, eh?
too much health and safety nowadays.
It's funny you should say that. Actually, I was having a conversation with my one of the guys I work with about that. He works in like the warehouse and stuff, and he'll still like climb on the racking and stuff. And aye. So after this one, after the big event, June, what's next?
We'll probably have maybe between 7 and 10 days off, and then it'll be all into our next campaign. So between now and the end of the campaign, we're really going to need to get our next charities kind of sorted and chosen because we've got a quick turnaround. So it's just try to organise this as much as we can, and then if we get a spare like day or two, and try to sit down and work out what's the next campaign's plans and how do we get that started.
That's bad. Like you said, like 7 to 10 days. I'm just like that's literally nothing. That's like
Aye,
a week. Do you know what I mean? But again, you've been doing this for so long that it's probably just
it's a
it'll
routine.
fall
Aye.
it'll fall into place quite quick. Have you got any ideas for it though, or is it going to just be you sit at a table with blank notepads and go right?
I think the fairest way to do it is obviously, as I said in the last podcast, we put the post out and we had loads of people had also commented this charity, that charity. I recommend this one because such and such. If we sit down with that list and go through that list before we do anything else, and that way the people that have got in contact with you first, you're concentrating on that list first, going through that, getting something sorted. And then whenever you're done with that, obviously we've got other ones that have got in contact in that as well that we'd like to help. But it's trying to, as I said the last time, I try to keep things as local as we can. But you don't realise how much out there is local that you can help.
Yeah, aye. I mean, it's good keeping, as I said, it's good keeping it local because you've got the local people spending their money in their
Yeah,
community. But sometimes, like, has there ever been like a charity that's again not local, but still maybe Scotland or like Glasgow area that's been a
yeah.
bit kind of close to you that you've thought, can we do this?
We've done that a couple of times. Obviously, we've done the one for the Beatson Cancer Charity. We've also done Glasgow Children's Hospital. We've done that in the past, so it's still trying to get ones that are kind of well known. But obviously, you've got these ones that are a lot more backed than other ones in that as well. So you're trying to then find the ones that are not getting that support and aren't as well known, so that you're going out there and giving them the help and funding and all that and that as well, and the awareness to get them out there.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that when it comes to like picking a charity, you'll never be short.
No.
And again, that, to be fair, that's quite, in a way, that's quite a sad statement.
It is.
Do you know what I mean? Considering, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I love what you guys are doing, but a lot of these charities, like, in fact, most charities, I think, should be government funded in some capacity.
Yeah.
Like, there's one that my daughter belongs to. I don't know if I mentioned this on the last one. It's for kids with arthritis.
Yeah.
They don't get any government funding at all, and it's weird just how there's all this money sitting in the government, and it's like, well, where is that going? You know,
It really annoys me that.
Aye, because like, you know, as working men here, we're paying our taxes, and it's like, where is it? It's one of those, like, I don't know. It's almost a red flag, to be fair, for the government, but that's another story.
It's trying to say it without being like bad about it, but there's so much money from the government that does go to the very wrong places and doesn't go to where it should be going for research and resources and that, and instead of helping the people that it should be helping.
Oh, 100%. I said that to my dad actually the other week there, that in 2025, food banks should not exist.
It's crazy how bad it is for food banks now. You do genuinely feel for them, but how much they're struggling now. But they get nothing for the government.
I know, and I think it brings us back to, like, if there was more people like yourself and what you're doing, if there was more people like that out there, then it would be a lot easier, and be more helpful. But then it's not up to us.
Yeah.
Again, it's where the government should be stepping in. But I think, like, you know, what you guys are doing is it's wonderful. It's marvelous what you're doing. But do you also see that at the same time that shouldn't be up to you?
Yeah, the best way to put it, yeah, it isn't, but it just shows that when people do have the right mindset, like myself and David, if you push towards something and you work together, you can help charities out.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it's better to be difficult the way, because it's like, again, like what we're saying, it's like you want to help all of them, but you just can't.
You can eventually, hopefully.
Yeah, aye, in due time. I mean, it's good that what you guys are doing is like ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can eventually, at some point, kind of pick, say, what, 4 or 5, and then be like, we'll get to this one eventually. Yeah. What do you think the next one's going to be? Or do you have one that you're going to push for? Or is there anyone that sticks out for you personally?
I don't know. You think you've got one, but then you watch the news every other week and there's something different's happening and your mind changes every week. There's that many, even like say hospitals out there that are struggling, primary schools, all that as well, nurseries, the food banks, as we says. There's that many things out there that don't get the help, that are struggling, but obviously it's trying to find the balance and pick the right ones, because that brings a wee bit of pressure as well. You're trying to make sure that you pick the right ones for that campaign, that you're helping at the right time and all that as well. So it's trying to find the balance and stuff.
I suppose it will be. Yeah, I mean, it's. Do you find that when you're doing these things for the various charities that, like, different charities generate more than others, or do you think it's pretty uneven keel throughout?
No, it's an even keel. We always make it look like an equal split and all that as well. We feel like, obviously, we went with one charity to 2 charities to 3 charities. It doesn't matter what we do, but everybody will be fair with every charity. Everything will be like shared maybe between everything, all that as well. There's not one charity that we'll just go and put over the other one. We'll give every charity we raise for, they'll be given the exact same like treatment, time, respect. Everything we do will be split between them.
That's as good as you've kind of got that formula already that's tried and tested. Was that something that kind of came naturally, or was that something that was like a hit and a miss at the very start?
No, I think it's came naturally. I think like obviously to start off with, we were kind of just used to doing one charity, so that was your charity, and it was still your charity you're raising for. But then as the years went on, obviously you're getting the messages about this charity, that charity. You're trying to do a bit more each year. But I think obviously at the end of the last one there, as I said, we decided to go for free. When you see the amount of names that were on that list, you're thinking, what's the best way to do this? So we've tried the free, and all we can hope for is that we've done the best for the free charities that we're raising for, and I feel that for everything we've done really well for what we've done.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Yeah, it's like the fact that some people might say you've picked 3, then if you had picked 2, then these charities would have got more. But then it goes back to what we were saying, is like you want to help everybody.
Yeah.
So I think you're damned if you do and damned if you don't in that aspect. But the fact that you're doing it again, it's like I live through in like Dunfermline, just in Fife, and there's really not, to my knowledge anyway, I'm positive I have a quick Google, but I don't think there's anything like what you guys do over this side.
Right.
There's never, like, again, I could be totally wrong. Like, there's individual charities that raise for their specific charity, if that makes sense. Like the British Heart Foundation will raise for the British Heart Foundation.
Yeah. They won't mix it about.
They won't mix it about, but like I don't think there's anything like you guys over this side. And have you ever thought about kind of branching out?
I think we need a lot more members for that, I think.
I was because it is just the 2 of you, eh?
Aye, 2 years, so aye.
Aye, so I think that's like, aye. I think to be fair, he's doing great with what he's got, but is that something that he's talked about, or is it something that you're going to talk about?
It's not something we've spoke about yet. I think at the moment the main thing is, as I keep on saying, like if I'm like going over it again, but our main thing now is to try and help as much local charities. Once we can think we've kind of done our best in that, we can maybe go out with and all that as well. But it's just obviously, as I say, like we're doing this and we've got our full-time jobs and all that as well.
Aye.
Get our kids and stuff and that, so you're trying to find the balance for, would it be fair doing a charity away out with and then your time restricted? As much as we would try our hardest to do what we can do, it is trying to get the balance for everything in there.
Aye, exactly that. Because I mean, obviously, you've got your personal life to live in that as well, without like sending emails out at 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's the only time you get to do it. And then you've probably done it during your time. It's like you're burning the candles at both ends.
That's it.
It's not great.
No.
It's not great. I mean, the end result might be worth it, but is it really worth the toll on your body? Do you know what I mean?
It's always when like you're making a small difference to all these charities.
Aye. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing as well, is like you are making, to be fair, I think you should give yourself a wee bit more credit than a small change. You are doing an amazing job. You are doing something that I think you probably should be proud of. I'm assuming I would hazard a guess to say that you are proud of what you do, but I do think that you guys should get a lot more coverage than what you do. This big event that you've got coming up in June,
Yes.
Is it going to? I'm assuming these have probably reached out to some media outlets. Is there newspapers, radios?
There's been a couple of radio channels have started broadcasting it for us. Obviously, we're on your podcast as well, and the likes of just like social media and stuff. We've got like banners, posters, flyers all over Carluke to advertise it and that as well. So it's just obviously try to get in touch with people that are interested in getting the word out there for us. The more word we can get out there, the more people can come in, the more we can raise for the charities at the end of the day.
Aye, yeah, and that's the thing as well. Is like all these kind of media outlets, like they've got their own reach.
Yeah.
So it's all going to they'd be doing you a favour as much as what you'd be doing them the favour as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's that like I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of thing.
Yeah.
What like is the media coverage in Carluke? Like, is there like local newspapers and things like that?
There's a local paper. I think it's like once every week it comes out. So it's just obviously try to get wee bits in that, but it's at the same time they're restricted in what they can put in that one paper for the community. So you're obviously trying to get in against other things and that as well. But what we usually try to do with them is we try to keep that until our big one, and then we can advertise it in the lead up, and then maybe 2 weeks after it, we can get pictures and everything, stories for the event, and get it in the paper and that as well. People see that, they want to come out for the next campaign. It's all about trying to build from one event to the next event, as well as using like contacts and social media and that as well.
Aye. Yeah. I mean, like, because obviously, like, you guys have got like your full-time jobs and stuff. How do you handle things like the sending the emails and the keeping up with the social media posts? And do you like how do you find that?
Whenever you get a spare minute. Obviously, like we try to keep top of social medias every day. As soon as we get up, obviously we're working at it, but even if we're on like a tea break at work, we just done for work having dinner. As soon as we get a chance, we're on the pages, checking for messages, putting posts out. It's just obviously if you want to do what you do, you need to find the time to obviously commit and get back to people that are willing to help you in that as well. So if we want to do what we're doing, if we're not getting back to people, then we're not going to get any feedback, coverage, support.
Aye, that's the thing is like I'm like that as well. It's like I'll happily sit at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night and just like start copy and pasting and firing new emails right, left,
Yeah.
and centre. Like I'm not expecting anybody to get back to me at that time of night, but at
Mhm.
least that part of the job's done.
That's it.
How do you deal with the late nights and early mornings? Because I remember last time you said that you were up at like ridiculous o'clock. How
Still
do you deal
struggling.
with that?
Still struggling.
What time was it you were up? It was like the back of 5 or something, wasn't it?
I'm usually up at 4:15 for a 5:30 start.
That's absolutely gross, man.
The worst bit is usually if you're like doing it on the Saturday, then you finish your late shift and the Saturday afternoon, you're literally home for about half an hour, get changed, and you're down to, if you've got a charity event on, you're at the venue, setting the venue up, setting up tables, and that's yours until the end of the night as well.
Aye. So you're talking about like a 19, maybe 20-hour day.
Usually for the events and that, usually, yeah.
Aye. And the fact that it's just the two of yous as well, again, I think that's quite admirable because you've probably put a lot of like personal life on hold.
It's even at this kind of time of year as well, it's a wee bit harder as well, because obviously David does a lot of landscape gardening, like that kind of stuff. So as it says, as a season and all that as well. So fair play that he's still able to go out and do that and find the time to do the charity stuff. It just shows how good and supported he is to what we do.
I take it like the landscape gardening is like his full-time gimmick.
Yeah.
So again, we're coming into the summer, man. That's when everybody will want their like edging done and all that jazz. But again, like fair play to the two of yous for doing it. Like, has there ever been a time where you've thought that either 1 year or 2 years have decided that, look, we need to take a wee bit more time off here for emotionally. No, you're shaking your head there. Nah, mate, that's like I know, like I I do like on my weekends. I'll finish my day job at 6 o'clock in the evening, start my pub job at 7 till 1, and then start the next morning at 9 till 6, pub job, and then on Sunday morning start at 10 till 5. See, by the time a Sunday night comes, man, I'm
Aye.
absolute nuggets.
I don't know. I'm like one of the ones. Like I feel like with the charity stuff, like my head's just constantly going with all these ideas and that. And I feel if I had to take a break of that and stop thinking about it, I'd lose what I'm thinking about, and it wouldn't happen. Whereas if I keep going, mate, keep going, keep thinking, then more events happen, more new ideas at the events. Obviously, if we've got all these new things coming in, like we never thought at the start we'd be holding wrestling events and that as well. Just shows me you're constantly thinking these things go into your head. And just obviously, as I said last time, what worked out for us that W3L had that show in Carluke, so we obviously went and caught up with them. It just went for that, and now we've got the wrestling promotions getting involved with our big finale events and coming back for 1 year to do another wrestling show, and it just shows what can we do to keep us going every year to get it bigger and bigger than that as well. So if you stop thinking about this stuff, then do you lose his concentration and all that as well? So you try to keep going as much as you want.
Yeah, I suppose if you take like like a couple of weeks off, you'll be like, oh, what's one more day, and then what's one more day, and
Aye.
then no, I've yeah been there myself. Um, so I'm assuming like expansion is like we talked about is on the cards at some point. Like
At the
obviously,
moment,
just more than yourself and David.
we've been advertising maybe the last 6 months for that, obviously for like volunteers and stuff in that as well. But you can understand at times like voluntary work, it can be hard. Obviously, you've the cost of living and all that as well. You've got families to feed and all that, bills to pay. It's hard for people just to, if they're out working a full time job or that and stuff, they need to put money on their table.
Aye.
That's our main
Yeah.
thing. So it is tough now to get volunteers out there, but we have got a good like back in there that do come out and support us and that as well. So we're ever thankful for the volunteers that we've got that come out, and anybody else that ever wants to come out and volunteer. Just the usual. We just if they send us a message on the social medias, and we're more than happy to bring people in, whether it's to help out for one event or if they want to join the team. We just feel that the more people in the team we've got, the more we can do.
Yeah, aye. That's what I was going to say. Like the more people that you've got, the thought of expansion might not be
Yeah.
as scary as what it is.
Yeah.
Because it is, like I said, we've just been the 2 years. You've got full-time jobs. You've got all God personal stuff going on. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But where would be the ideal venue for you to run?
I would love to do, obviously, not next year, but the year after will be our 10th anniversary. How it's in that quick.
I know, man.
I would love for us to obviously do the football game. If we could get a big local football stadium and do it in there, and then have a big night event after it. I just feel for 10 years worth of like the work we've done, I think to pull off something in a big football stadium would be ideal for us. In fact, we've both like played football over the years and that, so it'd be a big thing for us to bring one of our big events to an actual football stadium like a Scottish club or that.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching a podcast interview with Joe Hendry the other day there, and he was talking about like how he's like a massive, massive believer of like manifestation and stuff. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Like, could you see like the potential that it's got to do that?
Yeah,
Aye. See,
Definitely.
I genuinely, I love the confidence, and it's like, you know, in the interview, Joe was talking about how when he learned that Kevin Owens had to go for neck surgery and Randy Orton needed an opponent for WrestleMania,
Uh-huh.
he was like, he manifested it that it was going to be him,
Yeah.
but he had no idea. But he believed, no pun intended. Um, do you think that it would be that far fetched to get one of your football stadiums that you were talking about?
It would take quite a lot of work, I think. But if the thing with me and David, if we put our mind towards something to try and do something, we won't give up until we do it. So just probably a case of getting this campaign out of the way, then while we're getting the next one started, we can obviously send out a couple of emails and try and get things kind of rolling for that 10th anniversary as well.
Because that's the thing, is like, is if you send out the emails, you send out the Facebook messages, your phone calls, what's the worst that they can say? Is a no.
Try somewhere else.
Or they could be like, hey, you know, we didn't have it on this date, but what about this date? And the conversations could at least happen, eh?
Yeah. You don't know if you don't try.
That's exactly it. And a lot of people would kind of like I remember when ICW ran the Hydro, everybody thought they were off their heads.
Aye.
Everybody thought they were absolutely I was the daftest thing ever, but they took the chance.
That's it.
And, you know, they're possibly, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're probably the only Scottish promotion to ever do that.
Probably will be, aye.
So, you know, to anybody that said that they were stupid,
Yep.
do you know what I mean? And that's the thing that I love about the whole what you guys are doing is you aren't scared to ask the questions.
Yeah. When you were saying earlier on there, obviously there's nothing like what we do like through your way. Does that not give you a wee? Can you think maybe like looking at something like this and try and do
Do you know
something?
it kind of does, to be fair. Like me and my daughter done a few kind of charity things for
You mind you saying that? Yeah.
for her arthritis charity and
Uh-huh.
stuff. And it was like we got a lot of support from like the locals now. We were in our kind of version of like the local paper and stuff, and it was
Uh-huh.
like it was that kind of.
It makes you think bigger. These wee things. Everything you do each stage, it does make you think.
It really does, and it's like I quickly googled it when we were talking there, and Dunfermline, well, Fife alone, there's about 200 and something food banks.
Wow.
That is madness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, Fife like isn't really that big a place. It's no small either,
No.
but you know, to be that much like, because we've got two in Dunfermline alone,
Uh-huh.
and again, Dunfermline's not that big, but like hearing like the way that you're talking and like your passion and your dedication and the things that you sacrifice and David sacrifices, it genuinely makes me feel that every town, every city should have you guys in it. But I think it is something that we're going to look at for sure. Because like she loves my Sophie's like she just turned 13
Uh-huh.
and she loved the attention that she got. She loved the attention that she got. But again, at the same time, it's like the arthritis charity, as I said earlier on, isn't government funded at all.
You're right.
And they do trips to like Blair Drummond Safari Park and Deep
Uh-huh.
Sea World, and all that is funded just through like donations. And
Right.
they had to cancel one of their big trips last year because they couldn't afford it.
It gets you see things like that when it's for these kids and that to go out and
Aye,
enjoy themselves and
aye. Yeah, because it's like, you know, I never really knew that arthritis in children existed,
uh-huh.
if I'm honest, But then to go to some of these like events and see other kids that are suffering and how their parents are handling it. It's like, oh man, you know, it's definitely something that kind of needs looked at, I think. Is there any? Sorry, what you said?
That's what the thing as well. You're saying like, unless you're in that kind of, you're round about something to do with that charity or know about it. Like that was part of the reason why we done this. Like you don't know a lot about these charities, but when you raise for them, you do the research, you find out more about them. When you're in meeting them and they're telling you the stories and stuff, and even just going on their websites and reading up on them and stuff, see some of the stuff you find out that you never knew. So it's another side of doing all this stuff. Like you're finding out stuff for yourself as well as helping and raising for them at the same time. So it's helping us and it's helping them. Like we're getting not like a school lesson, but we're getting research and we're finding out things that we never ever knew.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, has there ever been like a charity that you have found that some of the stories in that have like properly touched you, but then it's like this is just going on in like our backyard here. Do you know what I mean? It's so local to you, but you don't know what people are going through.
I think literally every charity we've raised for, it's had something. Like you don't realise until you're literally in with that charity, like what's happening. Like they're trying to get this kind of funding, but they can't get it and stuff. And obviously, like they're trying to, as you says, like charities are trying to put on events for people to go away somewhere. And then it comes to the kids are getting excited for this event, and then on the day it's getting pulled, and you feel for that as well because if you don't want to sound like bad, but if more people would support local, those kids could go out and enjoy their day.
Aye. I mean, like at the risk of getting like proper heat here, it's like I would rather give to a local charity than something like cancer research or things like that. You know, I'm not diminishing what cancer research
No,
is
no,
doing, but you know what I mean? There's like all these
a bigger
local.
backing.
Aye, exactly that. There's all these local ones that get nothing.
Yeah.
So I think it's a case of almost prioritizing, would you say?
It's always good to check up and stuff in that as well. That way you've got a rough idea of what you're helping, you're supporting all that as well.
Aye. Yeah, because it's like we ran like a kids disco as well in one of the big nightclubs in Dunfermline, and it got a bit out of control because we initially capped the tickets at 50. But we ended up with like 100 screaming kids just dancing and just having a good time, eh? It
That's
just got a bit out of control, but again, it was like I mean, I'm sure you're the same when you see the fruits of your labour, shall we say, and you see all these families and all these kids having a good time at something that you've organised. It's like I've done that.
it does hit you.
Aye, it does, eh? What do you think when you're putting on one of your events here? Do you think do you look forward to it starting, the middle, or do you look forward to it ending?
Probably every part of it for different reasons.
Aye,
I think it's the start of it always the excitement for each event you do. The middle, obviously, you can see how it's going. You're starting to get feedback from people and all that as well. And then come the end of it, it's that one's done. You're getting the feedback from people. You're seeing their reactions. You're hearing their stories. So it's like a freeway thing. Like the start, the middle, and the end.
yeah.
They're all positives because you're getting something back for each one.
How important is the feedback to you guys?
That's huge because it shows like what we're doing is appreciated by the community and that as well. I think people can see like the effort we're putting into our events and the fact that we are changing about every year. We're not just sticking to like one charity or like one type of charity. We're mixing it about with different like illnesses. You're not just going like the same thing every year. You're mixing it about varieties, and it's hitting different people every campaign you do.
Aye. How do you guys like collect your feedback? Is it on the day, just word of mouth, or do you like send out a big email blast, or?
Well, when it comes to the public, the day after every event, we'll put a big post on our socials, like thanking everybody for attending, whether they're just paying for a ticket, paying for raffles, donating raffles, if they're coming out and just giving us like feedback and stuff, or if they're coming out and like telling us stories, the charity we're raising for, how that impacts them, and everything. It's be different things like that, like the fact that these people are giving up their time to come out and enjoy themselves and then tell us why they're here and all that as well. It's like it makes it for you.
Aye, it would do, because it's like, I think the biggest feedback that you can get is if somebody leaves with a smile on their face.
Yeah.
I think that's been like, for the handful of events that I've ran, that's always been my thing. Is like, it's after the event you can always just go, that's over with. But it's, if like a kid leaves or an adult leaves and they've like had such a good time, and I think that's possibly the bar,
Yeah.
shall we say. How do you think that, what's going to be different going forward? Like, are you like, we mentioned earlier on, you're dipping your toe into new things here, but what's the ultimate goal for this period onto the next?
The biggest goal is to try and get as many people into venues as possible, to try and help as many people as we can. It just shows, like, for the different variety events that we try to do, we want to then try and get even more of a variety the next campaign. So if there's like sort of events that we've never done before, we'll look into that and we'll try and, can we get a venue that's suitable for that? Can we get one that will, is a venue that will be suitable for the event, and then can we get enough people in to fill that hall for the event to make it the way it should be? So it's then just try to find things, but the way things are going now, like, we've tried many things now. We've obviously, the big one for us was that wrestling event. That was a big, like, if we could have done that and it could have not been as good as it was. But the fact that it was literally blown out of the park, it's already booked in for next year, which then makes us think, right, what other fresh ideas can we think of?
Because that's the thing is you've got almost 10 years worth that you could just cherry pick from. Almost this worked, and that worked.
Yeah.
Do you, has, like, obviously some events have been more successful than others. Is there maybe ones that you'd maybe kind of scale back on, or has everything just been at the top?
I think I'd probably say about 90% of events that we do have been successes. We'd say, like, I wouldn't say like any of the events have been like badly turned out. Like, the amount of support we get for the events, no matter what it is we put on, whether it's like our country music nights or our hypnotist nights, GBX nights. We had a GBX night last Saturday there.
Aye.
That was our last one before the big one, and even that, I think maybe about 90 odd people in the hall and that as well for it. And you should still have people coming in on the night, like, paying to come into the venue. So it just shows that people are still coming out and supporting.
See, that I think that goes. I think that speaks volumes for you guys as well, though, is because I think anybody could possibly run a JBX night, but I think it's like you guys are what makes it. I think you guys could genuinely advertise that you're going to open an envelope and people would turn up in the masses. Because people believe in what you do,
Yeah,
and people know that what you do is beneficial.
I think the biggest thing is getting the trust of the people in your community. If they've
Aye,
got the trust, then they're going to come out and support you. It's especially
exactly
if you're raising for something that impacts them as well.
exactly that, and that's where like we were talking about like the whole community spirit comes into
Yeah,
things. Hey, the minute you guys like stick your logo onto something, people are probably going to be like, right, you're guaranteed a quality night. And I think again that's kind of where again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you have done the smart thing by kind of staying central
local.
in the
Yeah.
meantime. I think was that intentional, or did you have plans early doors to kind of venture out?
Well, the first 3 4 years we kind of done events in Hamilton,
All
but
right,
then we thought to ourselves, why are we doing this in Hamilton when we're both from Carluke? Why not bring it to Carluke and make it the foundation what it is? And ever since we've done that, it's just came on leaps and bounds.
so in comparison, where is Hamilton in comparison to Carluke?
Maybe about a 15-minute drive,
So not
15 20
massive
minute drive.
miles away, but I see what you're meaning. Is like build something in your back garden first,
Yeah.
which but would you go back to was the events that you ran in Hamilton, were they well received?
They were good turnouts, but they're nothing like what we're getting now in Carluke. I think as well the fact you're doing it in Carluke and the local people, it's walking distance for them as well. They don't
Aye,
need to rely on like public transport or waiting about. They can just wake up, get ready, head out to the event,
aye.
and then the majority of them don't even get a taxi home. Just walk home after it.
See, that's always a good night.
It makes a difference.
It does, eh? It does, and again, it's going back to like just having something to do on your doorstep.
Yeah,
Because there's not a lot in life at the minute that's fun.
it's hard as well because you can remember when you're younger, you used to go out and do this and do that, but everywhere you're turning now, like everywhere's shutting down. There's like or shutters down, like
Aye,
shops, leisure centres, like public
aye.
parks are all getting ruined and dismantled. It's trying to find things and find reasons to get people to come out and enjoy themselves and that as well, because there's not much that people can get out and do nowadays.
Aye, exactly that. It's the amount of like antisocial behaviour that we've got over here is just
That's
absolutely is
crazy through here
brutal.
now as well.
It's brutal. But then you guys are like offering like an alternative here,
Mm-hmm.
to actually like, hey, actually like come out, enjoy yourself, have fun, and
Yep.
stop being a dick, man. You know? Eh,
Let your hair down.
Absolutely that. Absolutely. But listen, man, I'm going to go and let you get to your bed, man, because you've got an early start tomorrow.
Yes.
But feel free give the big event that you've got coming up in June one last plug.
No worries. It'll be Saturday the 28th of June at the John Cummins Stadium in Carluke. From 12 o'clock till 4 o'clock, we will have the charity football game, market stalls, bouncy castles for the kids. We've got a DJ, we've got hot food and snacks. We've got quite a few other things booked in during the day. And then, if that's not enough for you, from 7:15 to 11:30 at night at the St Athanasius Hall in Carluke, we'll have our night function as well with DJ, raffles, auctions, buffets, and guest speakers. So it's a full day and full night event. There's plenty to do, and it's for to come along to the night event. It's £10, so you could easily spend £20 30 a night out and go out there. You can stay local, £10 a ticket, come in, enjoy your night, raise for charities. It's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. Do you know what it is, man? It really is. Absolutely is. Anyway, man, thank you again so much for joining me. I wish you all, honestly, man, nothing but much luck with this and like going forward. Both you and John deserve like
David,
some form of praise, man. Honestly,
David,
David, what did I say?
John.
John, I was so close.
Cut that out. Cut that
I
out.
would just edit that. Aye. But aye. Do you know what? I'm sure somebody called John might join you at some point.
We'll advertise.
Advertise. This post is for Johns only. Anyway, man, I wish I had nothing but the best, and I will catch you down the road, my man.
Thanks for having us again. Thank you, Will.
Catch you, brother.
See you later on.
Bye. So, honestly, that was Gary from Carluke FC again. John? I don't know. I want to thank you guys for joining me here. I'm going to start making it a quest to turn my light on going forward. But hey, I digress. Thank you guys again. It was amazing. Gary just messaged me. Thanks for that, John. Dick. Anyway, guys, thank you, and we shall see you down the road.